Hello, dear students. Welcome back to my class. And today I'm gonna discuss on a poem by Leslie Norris, which is, A Tiger in the Zoo, for class 10. And when we read about this particular poem by Leslie Norris, A Tiger in the Zoo, when we talk about a tiger in the zoo and a tiger in the jungle, there's a big difference in the activities that they are going to do. Okay, so this particular poem is talking about a tiger which is out of its natural habitat, away from the jungle. That means it's kept in the zoo. Where is a zoo? Generally you will find in the cities, in the towns. Okay, so in the midst of human habitation. Now when you read this poem, you will find the poem moving back and forth from the zoo to the jungle and back again to the zoo. This is how the poet is trying to contrast an animal in the zoo, the activities that the animal is going to show, the way the animal is particularly behaving in front of people, and again talking about the animal which is in the forest, in the jungle, their behaviors we're going to find in this particular poem. Alright, so when we read it, it's a small poem, so we can go line to line. So when we read it, it goes, he stalks in his vivid strips the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet rage. So in the first stanza itself, the poet is trying to focus on the appearance of the tiger. Okay, the tiger is already encaged. It is already inside the zoo in a cage. Okay, so it says he stalks in his vivid strips. Vivid means bright. Okay, the strips that you can see on the body of a tiger looks bright. That's what it is described. Stalks means walking majestically, like a king, like a queen, adorned with beautiful dress. Okay, colorful dress. So it's the way majestically he is described. At the same time, it is said the few steps of his cage. What the tiger could do is only walk back and forth inside the cage only. How big is the cage? You just imagine how big is that room where the tiger is being encaged, being kept. So it's obviously a small room. Okay, so inside that small room only, the tiger is moving back and forth or going to and fro. Okay, and it says on pads of velvet quiet. You know, the tiger, the cat family, their foot, okay, actually is soft. That means the paw that the tiger or lions are having is velvet, very soft, furry. That means when they walk, you will not hear any noise, you will not hear any sound. Okay, but when animals like cow or other hard-footed animals walk in front of you, you will obviously hear the noise, the sound. Okay, but the feet of the tiger is velvet, and that's why it is soft. When it walks, you will not hear any sound. There is no noise. In his quiet rage. Now you see, being encaged inside that cage, the tiger is really angry inside. It says quiet rage. Rage, when somebody is in anger, you think about that person's mood, how gruesome, how dangerous the person could be. But you see, here it says the tiger is quiet, but he is in full of rage, full of anger. Okay, just think what situation the tiger is undergoing. He cannot express his anger. It's useless. Even if he tries to express his anger, it is useless. Alright? So he has to keep back his rage within himself. That's why he is not showing any gruesome activity. He is only quietly walking up and down. In the next stanza, he should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plum deer pass. In this particular stanza, what we can see is the tiger is projected in the jungle. How a tiger would be behaving when it is in the jungle. It says he should be lurking in the shadows. This particular tiger should have been in the forest. Why is it here in the cage? It should have been in the forest, and there in the forest the tiger should have been lurking. Lurking means to remain hidden in ambush, so that if any prey comes nearby, then the tiger can catch it and eat it. Okay, sliding through long grass. It should have been walking amidst the long grass, tall grass, near the water hole. Water hole means a pond-like structure where the water is collected, and generally you will find animals coming to drink in such kind of place. So that becomes an ideal place for a tiger to wait for the plump deer to pass. Okay, for the plump deer to pass nearby. Or if a plump deer comes, if any deer comes, the tiger would be in ambush and it will kill it. So that's the nature of the tiger. Naturally, the tiger is born to act in such a way. So in the third stanza it says, he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. Some villages which is just attached to a forest, a big forest, there is always a danger of tigers coming at the edge of the village, at the edge of the forest, and growl around, make loud sound, scare away people or chase somebody. So the tiger should have been doing like that at the jungle's edge, baring his wide fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. So what he should have been doing? He should have been baring his teeth. That means opening his mouth, showing his teeth to the people, to the villagers, so that they might be terrorized, they might be frightened, showing his long claws, fingernails. Okay, and it says it's directly metaphorized here. White fangs, his teeth, the long teeth that generally snakes have got, poisonous teeth, the two long teeth. Okay, that is called canine in the case of dogs. Okay, so we also have it here, which is a bit longer for everybody. That kind of teeth, those two on the top and two on the bottom. So that's the canine teeth. It is referring about those four teeth. Okay, actually here when it's referring to white fangs. Fangs means the two poisonous teeth that can be found in cobras or some other poisonous snakes like krait, like viper. Okay, so that is fangs. Now this is what the tiger should have been doing if it were in its natural habitat. Okay, so when it comes to the next stanza, we are again coming back from the jungle to the zoo. The last two stanzas you can see here. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars. But you know what? Right now the tiger is inside the zoo. It cannot do anything. It could have been doing all those notorious things, those dangerous things. It's there in its habit. Okay, if it were in its habitat, in its natural habitat. But he is locked inside a cell and his strength is behind bars. So he can't do anything. Alright? Stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He only stalks or walks inside his cage, and then he keeps ignoring the visitors. Why would you think that a tiger in the zoo should be ignoring the visitors? You know what? The tiger is willing to be in its natural habitat, but what you can see, he is all alone. He's trapped behind bars. He cannot do anything. He might feel like he would jump at somebody, a visitor, but it's useless. So the most important thing here is the tiger is ignoring the visitors because he gets disturbed. He's trying to think of his freedom. He's trying to think and focus of the activities that he would be doing in the forest, in the jungle. But inside the cell, inside the cage, he cannot do anything. So because of all this, he tries to ignore the visitors, because visitors are really tiresome for him, disturbing for him, and so he doesn't like it. So the last stanza goes like this. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. He waits long to contemplate on the freedom, to contemplate or to think about the wildly freedom, the freedom that he would get in the jungle. So he waits for the last voice of the patrolling cars at night. So when the last sound of patrolling car goes off in the middle of the night, he stares at the stars. He looks at the brilliant stars. Okay? The stars full of light. Brilliant stars with his brilliant eyes. Why would he look at the stars like that after the last patrolling cars? Because throughout the day, visitors come and disturb him. That's why he ignores the visitors. And now when everything is silent, peaceful, calm and quiet, he waits for this particular moment to contemplate on his freedom. Do you know, the stars are the symbol of freedom. For tiger, stars symbolize freedom. And that's why he looks at the stars, thinking about his freedom, looking forward for his freedom. You might think he's praying to God because he's looking up. Probably because he wants his freedom back. So he is actually inside a cage, in a zoo, and his freedom is completely gone. That's why he thinks of his freedom being inside the cage. That's why he tries to get that peaceful and silent moment in order to contemplate on the freedom that he is dreaming of. Okay? He wants to regain his freedom. And that's why the stars that stands for freedom, that symbolize freedom, he thinks for that freedom. He's lost freedom. He wants to regain it. He wants to be in the jungle, in the forest. So this is how it is projected. Things are done in our way, in human ways. What is the human ways? Trying to dominate everything. Now that zookeepers are actually earning money by keeping the tiger in the zoo. That's one thing. And I don't know what you would think about it, but the writer is trying to focus what a tiger would think if it is kept like this in the zoo, and how a tiger would behave if it is freely allowed to roam in its natural habitat. That's how it is. So I hope you have understood the point, and that's all for today. Stay safe and work hard. Thank you for watching.